What's up guys, JL Fulks here and welcome back to the channel. For today's video we're talking about something that's already happening in the music industry, and that's AI. And I know there's a lot of doom and gloom behind that, especially for musicians and producers like me, but I think there's still light at the end of the tunnel, and I don't think we don't have to worry too much yet. But anyways, I'll give you guys my background. I'm a producer here in Nashville, Tennessee. Remote session guitarist and producer on Fiverr. I'm pro verified, have over 150 5-star reviews, and I've been getting a lot of orders that have to do with AI lately. And there's some pros and cons to that, but we're about to get into this and kind of break it all down and what I think is going to happen in the future and what's already happening. So let's start with the good news. I think the good news is that live music is always going to be here. I think that's something that people are always going to be looking for, especially when it comes to a world full of AI and AI-generated content. I think a lot of people are going to be wanting to go to more shows and seeing more artistry from humans. I think that's just part of human nature, so I don't think that's ever going away. And one thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to AI is actually at the moment it's actually been bringing me more work. And what I mean by that is I've been getting a lot of clients that have these AI songs that they've created with like Suno AI, and they're very, very good. Like they come to me with these really good songs, and they pay me to record real instruments and to produce them into real songs, because there are some copyright issues when it comes to using AI content. That's something I personally won't touch. Like I don't really use AI. If I do, it's for very slight things and more as a tool than actually anything else. And because I don't know for sure what's going on with the AI. I don't know if it's sampling hits, because I do hear a lot of things that are in hit songs, especially with the guitars and stuff. But the quality as far as the individual tracks and stuff is never really that good. So that's why people hire me to record real instruments. But at the same time, they have been getting some updates on Suno AI, and the last couple orders I got where people brought me an AI song, they were really good, and it actually had the stems this time. Now the stems weren't perfect. There was a lot of bleed from other instruments and stuff, but they were stems that I could work with that made the job a lot easier for me and made the turnaround actually faster. So as of right now, it's actually bringing me more work, because you get a lot of people that aren't typically songwriters that want to have a song that they've made and want to hire a producer to be able to do that, and that's where I come in. And as of right now, that's kind of how it goes. Now, as far as the future goes, it's all going to come down to if people want to pay the extra money to have a real instrument in their song. And sadly, I don't know how much society is going to keep pushing for that and for actual real instruments, but hopefully that never goes away and us musicians can stay busy with work and stuff, because I like the sound of real instruments. It makes a big difference, especially when it comes to mixing and stuff. There's some things that you can do with real instruments that you can't do with fake instruments. So I don't think that's going away, but if it does go away, it's because society has just lowered the standards of real instruments to the point where people would just pay $5 for a fake instrument or less than that, rather than paying $100 for like a real guitar or something. But I think in the end, if you want your production to sound really, really good, real instruments is the way to go. Another thing I want to talk about is how much of a great tool AI can be, especially when it comes to writing lyrics. I think that's probably one of the strongest points when it comes to AI. And I've used it a couple times when writing some of these custom songs for clients, especially the clients that don't really give me a lot to work with. It's harder to kind of come up with some original stuff when I don't really have a lot to work with. So I'll type something into AI or put in like 70% of the lyrics that I've written, and it'll come back with a couple little changes and a couple little extra lines, and usually they're pretty good, and I just have to refresh it a couple times to get it perfect, and that's about it. So in a lot of ways like that, it can be really, really helpful. Now, as far as writing songs that come from the heart or real life experiences, I would rely 80 to 90% on myself and my own artistry, and then maybe have AI tweak it like 10% or something just to refine it a little bit. But most of the time, if you're good enough, you don't even need AI. So That's kind of where I feel about using it as a tool. It's great for a person that doesn't have a lot of musical background. It's great to be able to make a song really quick, but just because you put something in a command prompt doesn't make you a singer or a songwriter. It just kind of it's kind of doing all the work for you. So it's not really your song if AI is generating it. And I think as we see this move forward in the future, there's going to be a lot of copyright protection when it comes to that. It's either going to be a ton of copyright protection, or it's just going to be open field for everyone to kind of be able to steal everything from each other. I'm not too sure, but I do know that publishers do not really sign artists or look at any songs that have anything to do with AI. I know most publishers in Nashville don't. There are some that do, I guess, work with AI, but most of the time they don't want anything to do with AI. So just so you know out there, if you're writing a bunch of AI songs and trying to pitch them and stuff, you're probably really not going to get that far with them. It's better to have just a acoustic guitar and vocal. And I've seen a lot of publishers talk about this on a bunch of reels and stuff on TikTok. And these are all Nashville publishers and producers and stuff, and they all say the same thing. So now the future, it's only going to get better, so we'll see what happens. But I know publishers and record labels and stuff are looking more for artistry from artists rather than people just trying to get a quick sell. But that's kind of the good news when it comes to it. The bad news is it obviously needs more regulation. And I'll tell you guys a little story. I was producing somebody on Fiverr, and I don't offer my vocals on Fiverr because anything I put my vocals to, I want some kind of ownership on because that's my brand and everything else. So when I'm producing clients, we usually hire a session vocalist. And to save some money, I told this lady, I was like, go on Fiverr, try to find me a session vocalist that you would like, and we could work with them and see what they could do. Like, send them over to me, I'll check them out. And she sent me over a couple of them. The first one was Alan Jackson. She's like, "Oh, Alan Jackson's on Fiverr," and I was like, "Okay, that's not true. He can't be on Fiverr." And I went to the profile, and it was like completely AI generated profile of Alan Jackson with fake Alan Jackson vocals, fake profile picture, all this stuff. And then, obviously it was like, well, we can't work with that. It's obviously fake. And then she sent me another one, and it was a completely made-up singer, AI-generated photo, AI-generated bio, and samples. Everything was AI. And if you go to the reviews, like, there were a lot of people that were fooled by this fake voice, this AI profile, and it had some good reviews, and then it had some very bad reviews from producers like me who thought this was a real person. It was very obvious to me, but some people thought this was a real person and hired them as a producer and were expecting to get vocal stems because that's what you get from a session vocalist. And instead, they just got like a whole song from them and didn't get any stems. So they gave them like a horrible review because AI doesn't typically give stems as of right now. But there have been some updates lately, so I'm sure the con artists are going to really take advantage of that. But anyways, I reported that profile, and it came back from Fiverr that my report was not necessary. Like, they deemed the profile fine, which is crazy to me because it obviously was completely fake person and everything. And this guy was fooling people to think he was a real vocalist when it was only AI generated. So there's a lot of bad stuff like that that's happening right now with AI, and we really need some more regulation because it's crazy how bad it is. Now, one thing I also worry about in the future is AI getting to the point where if you need a guitar for a song or something, you could put in, say, like Stevie Ray Vaughan. You want the style of Stevie Ray Vaughan, and you want him to play, say, a Gibson ES335 through a Fender Twin. And then you could actually put the pedals and everything and then get back something from AI that sounds amazing. And that's what I'm worried about, because it'll get to the point where they'll send you back something, and if you don't like it, you just push refresh, and it sends you another take, and you push refresh again, it sends you another take until you get like the take that you want for your song. Now, it's gonna sound probably like an amp sim, but some of those amp sims are getting really good now. And I think if it gets to the point for that, when it comes to that, people are going to it's going to be like, do you want to pay $5 for this AI generated Stevie Ray Vaughan with an ES335 through a twin that sounded like phenomenal? Or do you want to pay $100 for someone like me to record my own style with my own guitars and real equipment? So that's what it's going to come down to, I think, when in the future. So as far as recording goes, man, I don't know. It's hard to tell right now. As of right now, there's still some hope because I know a lot of people are still wanting real instruments. I get a lot of people that want that. And another thing I wanted to talk about too is I saw another guy make a video like this on YouTube, which kind of inspired me to do it too. And one thing that he said is that artists and musicians always want to pay for the experience of creating a song. And that's something that keeps guys like me making a living, because there's a lot of people that just want the experience of it and want to be able to put out their own artistry out into the world. And that's something I think that's not really going away, but it's getting a lot easier for people that think they're songwriters to create songs with AI and think that they're going to go somewhere when in reality, the internet's just flooded with AI songs right now. And people like me can't stand to listen to them. And I think that's another thing that's going to happen too, is there's going to be a lot of revolt, I think, against like AI generated content. Like, I know it's already kind of happening. I mean, it's already happening for me. Like, whenever I see some AI stuff, I'm just like completely swiping away instantly because I don't want to see it. It's just like every other thing is like something AI generated, and it's like, God, it's like I don't want to see any of that. It's just like too much. It's like oversaturated. It's all like so fake. And I think a lot of people are going to be, it's going to have the opposite reaction where people are going to be wanting more stuff that's real. And I think that's kind of where we're at going forward. Now, another bad side of it is I know there's probably going to be a lot of loss of jobs, and I could see it already kind of happening, like with my business and stuff. You know, there's a lot of people I know that I used to make custom songs for that are now just doing them with AI because it's cheaper and faster. And it's like 90% cheaper than if you were to hire me to make a custom song for you. And like companies like Songfinch that I was making a bunch of songs. I think like a couple years ago, I did like 200 or 300 songs with them for clients and stuff. And now I'm lucky to get like 5 songs out of the year for them, which is crazy because that used to be a big part of my income. And I had to almost reinvent myself after that because AI, I think, basically just took it all away from making these custom songs. And, you know, it's very unfortunate because every time I hear these custom songs, they're just so cookie cutter. Like, they're very much identical to other songs. They sound very similar as far as the way they're arranged. They're always like over arranged, like, and overproduced, and too many things going on most of the time. And sometimes it's better to just be a little more simplistic, and AI tends to go over the top. And for some people that don't know anything about music, they think that's a good thing, you know, and they think it's amazing. But for somebody like me who knows like music and stuff and producing, it's just it sounds like garbage. So there's something to kind of keep in mind. So there is going to be a loss of jobs. I think live music is going to do even better than ever, probably playing live. So that's another good thing. As long as like something like COVID doesn't hit again, live music should be good. But as far as recording goes, like, I really don't know. I mean, there's some music like blues and stuff that you can't really do with AI, but as far as like electronic music, I think that's like a dying genre now because AI is just going to completely take it over, because basically electronic music was already AI and artificial intelligence already, because basically everything in it is fake instruments. So I think with AI, that genre is going to be it's going to put DJs out of work. I mean, they're basically just up there doing nothing now, and this is really going to help them do nothing on stage. So I think the loss of jobs is there's going to be some. I don't think it's going to be completely like eliminated from the music industry, but there is going to be some loss of jobs. But I think it's also going to bring a lot of work to people like me and artists out there. Another thing is I heard that stock music is pretty much done now because of AI. Because if you're making like a YouTube video and just need some background music, it's a lot easier to just make an AI generated song and not have to worry about any like copyright issues or anything on YouTube or anything like that. And so I know a lot of people will probably be using that. Now, I know that YouTube has already made a stance against AI, which I think is a great foot forward. And basically, they just eliminated all monetization for anything AI generated, which I think is great because YouTube is already getting saturated with so much AI content and nobody's looking at it. Like, nobody's viewing it. Nobody really cares. Like, unless it's like a real artist where they're like playing and they produce this song, I don't think people really care about like AI songs and stuff. Maybe like if it's like your own song or something, but I don't think other people will really care about listening to it unless it's like something really funny or something. Now, as far as the future goes, I do want to leave on a high note. I think AI has already been around for a long time. I think since like the 80s, since like electronic music started coming about. And this is just kind of like taking it a little bit further. I think there's going to be a lot of tools and stuff, and you know, people are always going to want to watch like real guitar players play and real instruments and real vocalists and stuff. So I don't think anything like that is going away, but it is going to be oversaturated, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I think it's going to be a good thing for artists, but I think the big fear with AI is I don't think you have to worry as much because it's been around already for a long time. People will pay for the experience, the artist experience, so that's another good thing for guys like me and other artists out there. Real instruments are a real human element that I don't think is really going away unless it gets to the point where they sound so identical with AI that you can't really recognize it. But I think as far as any like major studios or labels, they're going to be wanting real instruments because you can fine tune real instruments and mix them certain ways and use certain plugins that you can't do with AI generated tracks. And as far as like, I've seen a lot of guys talking about like mastering their tracks with AI and stuff and mixing their tracks with AI. I personally wouldn't trust that because there's a reason why these guys that you pay like $500 or $1,000 a song to mix and master your songs, there's a reason why you pay them so much. And it's because they got all the professional gear, they know what they're doing, and they fine tune all the little things in it by ear. And that's something that AI just, you know, generates real quick. It's not like thinking like a human. So it's going to come out with all kinds of different things. Now for like cheap music and stuff, sure, that's a great option. You can mix and master something real quick and get it out there. But anything that's really going to like take off, or if you're looking for anything like radio quality, I wouldn't touch it at all. So I think the mixing and mastering side is going to be here to stay because I just don't see AI taking over that human element where you have to hear the certain frequencies and stuff to really make a song sound good and big. Now it may have like certain presets and stuff. I don't know, but we'll see what happens with that. But basically, that's pretty much where I stand with AI right now. I think it's a great tool for artists and producers and songwriters out there, but it's something I wouldn't heavily rely on. And I think the more you heavily rely on AI is going to be more apparent to more people out there in the music industry and the fans and stuff that maybe you aren't really a master at your craft if you're only focusing on using AI. Because for me, it's like, I don't even need AI because I know the music theory and I've been playing for 20 years, so I can make songs whenever I want out of nowhere. And so I don't really need AI, but it's a good tool to have and to get some ideas with. And I don't think it's taking away all our jobs anytime soon. There is a possibility of it in the future, but I think more doors are going to open up because of it, and people are going to be wanting more of the real thing. So anyways, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully this helps you and takes away some of your fear about AI and to just kind of be optimistic about the future. But anyways, thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.